Morning. Thank you very much for waking up early for us. Before I come to mid caps and specific areas that you're interested in, what's the mood in the market looking like? Sudarshan was just telling us that 10,000 is round the corner. What's your sense?
Good morning, Leda. The market mood is very evident, Whatever you feel and whatever people talk today is considered with the market mood. And as you know, I don't go with the market mood. The best of calls I have made is all. It's a time when everybody has been bearish and, when things were looking not so bright. And but as you said, I'm not really a mid-cap specialist or a small-cap specialist. Of course, when in the search of values, when we look for deep values, naturally, people like me end up with smaller cap companies in India. It is because of the structure of Indian economy and where we are heading to. I feel it's very sad. A lot of people, active investors, trading community, they are missing always, the big picture on India. This is what I have been always talking about. Leda, if you remember, in the last maybe 4 years' time, I had never been bearish, even for a day, even for an hour, except for Saturdays and Sundays. I have been very, very optimistic. That is because of the big picture I'm looking at. And still, I will request investors, even the active investors and trading community, if you are trading or investing in India, you need to change those who are not already in line with what is required, have to change the way you are looking at Indian markets, Indian equities, and Indian economy. Please understand one thing. India is going through, very, very exciting times. We are entering a new era of economic development, and everything is changing. This is an unprecedented change. The way politicians manage economy and the way the corporate world is taking shape, the way disruptive growth is happening. We never had this kind of a situation earlier. And during this kind of times, the normal analyst and the so-called experts, they may go wrong if they continue to do the traditional way of number crunching and price earning multiples kind of focus.
Okay, Porinju, good morning. That point is well taken, and I remember you're saying this about 2 or 3 months back that a lot of people will have a missed out feeling. A lot of people now have a missed out feeling on the market, but do you get a sense that this year the market could continue to surprise on the upside?
Yes, Anuj. Last year we had, I think, around 18+% return on Nifty, around 24% return on the BSE 500. It's a broader index. But I would say the small caps, I don't know the small cap index, and I don't believe in the composition of that index. It's a small representation. In fact, the small cap stock pickers made at least 100% return in the last 1 year. So this is, one should not see it light. And going forward in the financial year 2018, I feel a similar kind of a position I'm looking at. We may grow 15 to 20% on a Nifty, and smart stock pickers can make anything between 50 to 100% return. But when I say this is not something too exciting kind of thing. It is at the same time, it's time to be conservative and to be choosy in the market, to be very selective. You cannot go out and buy any stocks listed, or it's very sad. A lot of small investors get cheated. They follow the SMS tips. Now WhatsApp is a major villain for those people who are vulnerable to that. So these are not the healthy way of investing in the market. They are like, I would say, the illegal slaughterhouse in UP. They are both illegal. They are illegal and unhealthy.
You picked up this theme about small cap and mid cap stocks. You are generally known to, take fancy to stocks that are not much loved in this market. So let me talk about one of them. Recently, you bought into, I know you don't want to talk about individual stocks, but recently you bought into something like Ceylon Exploration, a stock that has not given any returns, in fact, only eroded wealth over the last 2 years. Just wanted to understand from you, what kind of potential do you see in spaces and stocks like these?
Yeah, I think this is a very good time to ask this question, Sonia. I was looking at some stocks last 2 weeks. In fact, I had tweeted a message, it's a time, March ending is coming up. A lot of people will throw away shares which are not performing to book loss and adjust to the profits on the other side. So that was another opportunity, a pocket of opportunity. I was buying personally only stocks which were at 1 year low or multi-year low in the last 2 weeks. Of course, Ceylon was one of them. Ceylon was at around 10-year low. I didn't have any position otherwise. So I bought it again. This was one of my stock, earlier, many years ago I bought, and we made profits, in fact. And we had exited, even though the last 2 years was, as you rightly told, it was a wealth destruction, industry-specific reasons, and even company, it is being managed without transparency, not like a listed company to be. So Ceylon is a beautiful company, and it's a zero debt company sitting on 130-40 crores cash, and they have huge potential to expand more and more production, and even this kind of a low oil price regime, it's making 30-40 crores kind of cash flow. So the whole market cap is around, I think, 250 to 300 crores. So that kind of bargains, actually this kind of many of these small and mid caps in India, next 2 years, this is going to be a wonderful period for stock pickers. They should focus in that sector, not because they are small cap and mid cap. Many of these small and mid caps are going to grow, and they are going to grow very big. And Sony, as I told last year, we have many of these mid cap companies, which are the industry leaders in India today. And which, when they are not fancy, they are at attractive levels. People always want the fancy name, something discussed on the media, and a lot of people talk about it, or something coming through the WhatsApp. So I'm telling you, the structure of Indian markets are very different. We have enough and more choice, and there is an abundant opportunity in this market. And
but I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you one of the more WhatsApped and well publicized themes, which is housing. I mean, it's expected that the government is going to go big guns on it, and in India, in any case, it's an evergreen theme. I noticed that in your list you have Orientim and HSIL, but tell us about how you handle this theme.
This Hindustan Sanitaryware, the HSIL is an industry leader, and a very important company, well-managed company. Their margins are improving. It's a very large company. So, but today it's not in fancy. It's not a great performer if you see last 2 years in the markets, and this is one of our holding in portfolio management. I think India has, this company has huge relevance in going forward. When you talk about housing and housing for all the poor, government is developing many schemes, talking about the Vision 22, everybody have a home. These all are practical. Our economy is structurally so strong, we can do all these things. If you have a will, and if you have got really a decision, the political decisions are very important. So luckily that is happening, Lada. After so many decades of independence, first time Indian politicians are taking strong and hard decisions, which is very important going forward. I really appreciate that.
Okay. Porinju, finally, before we let you go, 3 months back we were talking about Reliance and taking stock, and you said it's at inflection point. How much more for this stock? Because it drives markets, as we've seen over the last 2 or 3 months.
I don't know how to answer that. How much more, Anuj? It will continue to give returns to investors for next half a century.
Oh, okay.
Okay, half a century. All right. Well, that is being very point blank there. But you know what? I also wanted to ask you about Kotak Mahindra Bank, because we all know that you started your career with Uday Kotak, etc. So your fondness for him is well known. But you recently tweeted that the bank has the potential to grow to $100 billion. And it's been in focus because of the possible acquisitions, etc. You think it could be growing with some of these inorganic acquisitions, the NBFC companies that everyone's talking about?
The $100 billion what I put is without inorganic potential. That's very easy. That can happen much earlier than the time frame I give. No, this is again a common sense approach, Sonia, not any number crunching. Now, see the structure of Indian economy and our demography structure, all these are pointing towards, smart entrepreneurs and relevant business. There is a huge potential to grow, compound at 15, 20, and 25% over next 10, 20 years. That is a kind of inflection point of our economy we are sitting on. So that is why I told, even if you guys remember, immediately after demonetization, I was talking about this was the biggest positive economic development since independence in India. And people were throwing away shares for such a positive development. See, I couldn't believe myself. What is happening in this stock market? What the analysts are doing? When we talk about a